In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 college football games happening on August 30th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. North Dakota versus Kansas State. The North Dakota Fighting Hawks are set to tangle with the Kansas State Wildcats this Saturday in some college football action right there at Bill Snyder Family Stadium. If you've been keeping tabs, you know I'm not big on dropping heavy chalk most times, but every now and then a spot screams exception. The Wildcats didn't exactly shine over in Dublin last weekend. They came off like a squad tripping over their own feet. Iowa State handed over the ball twice in the first half alone, giving Kansas State every shot to lock down that Aer Lingus showdown tight. But nope, their own sloppy mistakes kept things wide open. Yeah, whenever the Cyclones started pulling ahead, the Cats scratched their way back to keep it tight. Still, Iowa State got all that buzz from the odds makers going in and walked away with the win. Props to them. Meanwhile, Kansas State's been struggling to beat the line, going just 4-9 in their past 13 outings. Right now, folks aren't lining up to back the Wildcats with any kind of big spread, especially after they couldn't even hit 25 points in that last one. Plenty would question how they're supposed to blow out anyone by that much this time, even against a step-down opponent. But here's the deal. Kansas State's getting slept on while they're in this rut of not cashing bets, which means now's the moment to jump in since the line's sitting lower than it should. If they'd handled business and beaten Iowa State like expected, this spread would be creeping up past 30 easy. As our first pick for this matchup, the Kansas State Wildcats to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Expect the scoreboard to stay quiet in this clash, with Kansas State's defense likely clamping down after that shaky opener and North Dakota struggling to generate consistent drives against a tougher level. The Wildcats might ease off once it's in hand to avoid risks, while the Fighting Hawks offense showed vulnerabilities last year that could lead to stalled possessions and a grinded-out pace keeping things under the mark. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. New Mexico versus Michigan. The Michigan Wolverines are set to welcome the New Mexico Lobos for their kickoff clash in the 2025 college football slate. Michigan's got the clear edge in size, depth, and toughness, and they could run away with this if everything clicks. That said, laying this many points feels risky for a squad rolling out a rookie at quarterback. Plus, they've got a big showdown with Oklahoma looming right after, which screams distraction. New Mexico might not have the bodies to go the distance, but their quarterback and backfield guy can move the chains enough to keep things interesting at least once or twice. On top of that, going back to 2017, Michigan's only beaten the spread in 4 of 13 tries when they're this heavy a favorite, and stretching it to 2006, they're just 10-16 in those spots. That's a hefty ask for game 1 of the year. As our first pick for this matchup, the New Mexico Lobos to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Look for Michigan's attack to show more spark this time around compared to last season. Underwood brings a ton of upside, backed by a runner who can break big plays, and they're up against a New Mexico crew that ranked dead last in total defense a year ago without much help coming in. Flipping it, the Lobos put up solid numbers on offense before, and they've added some fresh pieces to fit X's scheme, like a reliable guy in the backfield. That'll matter big time on Saturday with their quarterback lane still shaking off that elbow tweak. Both sides will flash their new weapons and rack up enough points to push things high. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Georgia State versus Ole Miss. In the opening college football clash of the year for these two squads, the 21st-ranked Ole Miss Rebels are welcoming the Georgia State Panthers to Vaught-Hemingway Stadium this Saturday. Has Georgia State stepped up their game this year? They might have, but don't count on it making much difference here. Austin Simmons over at Ole Miss is the genuine article, and he's going to run the show in this one. Georgia State had real trouble stopping anybody last year, and it's shaping up to be another rough ride. People tend to sleep on what the Ole Miss crew brings up front to shut things down, and they'll have no problem handling Georgia State's straightforward attack that doesn't mix it up much. By the break, this one's going to be lopsided, and it'll only snowball from there in the back half. The Rebels are just going to roll right through without breaking a sweat. As our first pick for this matchup, the Ole Miss Rebels to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Ole Miss sits as a massive chalk in this matchup, but they've got some unknowns rolling into things. This feels like a solid warm-up foe to iron out the kinks, especially since Georgia State's crew up front isn't exactly stout, so the Rebels should push the ball around with ease. Flipping it, the Panthers bring back a quarterback who's seen his share of snaps, and with Ole Miss mixing in a bunch of fresh faces on that side of the ball, I figure Georgia State can scratch out around 20 points or so. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Northern Arizona versus Arizona State. Arizona State's rolling into this clash with a ton of buzz hanging over them after that wild push to the playoffs last year. But don't sleep on Northern Arizona. They're shaping up to be one of the stronger outfits in the football championship subdivision ranks this season. Each side brings a good mix of skilled players who've been through the ringer, setting up what could be a solid, competitive scrap from start to finish. I'm figuring there's a real shot Arizona State starts off a bit sluggish here, maybe not fully locked in, while the Lumberjacks are going to attack this like it's their shot at glory, pouring everything they've got into making it count. As our first pick for this matchup, the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Arizona State's offense has the tools to push the pace at home against an football championship subdivision crew, and Northern Arizona's got enough pop from their experienced playmakers to answer back and keep things rolling. The Sun Devils racked up yards in bunches during their playoff run last year, and with both teams likely trading blows early to shake off the rust, the points should stack up past the line without much trouble. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah versus UCLA. The Utah Utes are making the trip to the Rose Bowl Stadium in Pasadena, California, for their season opener against the UCLA Bruins. Utah has done well covering the spread, posting a 5-1 record in their last 6 meetings, with UCLA going back to 2017. Both groups put a lot of stock in their defenses, though Utah holds a clear advantage across the board. Yeah, UCLA can stop the run like few others, but Utah shines in holding down total yards and scores. It just feels like Utah's coaching gives them the upper hand here, and I'm not big on UCLA bringing in Yamaliava at quarterback. Doesn't seem like he'll shake things up much for them this year. Utah, meanwhile, appears solid with Dampier taking over, Jason Beck handling the offensive calls, and I reckon their string of tough breaks finally starts to shift. Odds are this turns into a one-way street, with Utah winning by around a touchdown. As our first pick for this matchup, the Utah Utes to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Look for both teams to grind it out on defense, and Utah to hammer the run game hard. Devon Dampier's the kind of quarterback who threatens with his mobility, even if his arm isn't always precise, so he'll probably use his speed a bunch. In Utah's recent history, 4 of their 5 latest road trips went under, along with 10 of 14 games total. For UCLA, the under has cashed in 14 of their last 19 overall, and it's gone 5-0 in their 5 most recent games at home. This setup reminds me of their 2023 battle that ended 14-7. Offenses on both sides are thin, and they count on defense to carry them. With strong defenses and weak attacks, that total looks way too inflated for anything but an under. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.